This week in the open mic universe, we are coming off the heels of Bash at the Beach, and we're jumping right into the road to Money in the Bank. 8 big qualifiers this week. We kicked off Raw with our first of those 8 matches. Nathan Frazier taking on Braun Breaker. A little bit of history between these guys. We actually saw Nathan Frazier come away with a huge upset victory just a few weeks back against Breaker. Breaker would go on to avenge that defeat, but here they meet with a huge opportunity and a chance to be the first one to qualify for the Money in the Bank. That distinction would go to Braun Breaker as he becomes the first to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then we had singles action between Carmelo Hayes and Ludwig Kaiser. Now, both of these guys and their respective teams have kind of been in a little bit of a downswing as of late. And so this one really giving an opportunity to potentially give a spark to either Carmelo or Kaiser. Here on Raw, though, it would be Carmelo Hayes who would walk away with a 1, 2, 3. Then it was time for another qualifying match, this time for the ladies' Money in the Bank ladder match. It would be Piper Niven taking on Zelina Vega. Piper, we've seen throughout the course of this universe year, always coming so close, whether it's the Royal Rumble, the Elimination Chamber match, the China Memorial Battle Royal, or we had a Battle Royal, I guess about a month ago, to determine the number 1 contender to the WWE Women's Championship. Piper always coming up just a little bit short, and you know she wants to do everything she can to get into that Money in the Bank and see if she can have some success there. But unfortunately, I would say kind of fell victim in an upset win to Zelina Vega. Zelina punching her ticket to that women's Money in the Bank ladder match, and you know that's not going to sit too well with Piper. Then in our main event of Raw, it would be Jimmy Uso in singles action taking on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu, who made his open mic universe debut as Roman Reigns' mystery partner at Bash at the Beach. We'll see how this plays out. Now, we know the history of Jacob Fatu. We know he's kind of a wild card. What is going to be the long-term ramifications for Roman Reigns potentially by making a deal with the Samoan werewolf like this? He can't be trusted. But again, definitely threw a huge curveball at the Usos, and it paid off. Roman and Jacob were able to get the victory at Bash at the Beach. But again, you make a deal with the devil, at some point, you're going to have to pay. Jacob Fatu would get the win in his Raw debut. Then it was time for Nitro, and that meant another women's Money in the Bank qualifier. This one between Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte, a former 2-time WCW Women's Champion. Jade still looking for her first championship in the open mic universe and newly drafted over to WCW just a few months back. Who would join Zelina Vega in that match? These two went back and forth. Jade has had some success. She won the first China Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 1. Couldn't really parlay that into anything like we saw Shayna do this past year. She won it, ended up being able to pick up the WWE Women's Championship. Jade, though, comes up on the losing end here as Charlotte joins Zelina Vega, qualifying for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Then we would see the Street Profits taking on the OC. Probably looking over the course of the open mic universe, the Street Profits over our first 2 years, probably the most decorated tag team on the WWE side. Same can be said for the OC on the WCW side. Multiple tag reigns between the two of them. Now that the Street Profits here in WCW, the the tag team division is definitely going to be a lot harder to navigate through. Unfortunately for Montez and Angelo, they would come up on the losing end, but that didn't stop the New Day, the WCW Tag Team Champions, from coming out and extending a challenge to the Street Profits for an opportunity at their WCW Tag Team Championships at Money in the Bank. Then we would see Brock Lesnar and Bronson Reed in another qualifying match for Money in the Bank. Brock, if you'll remember, was last year's men's Money in the Bank winner. Footnote, though, he was stripped of that briefcase when he was suspended indefinitely just about a month later due to a physical altercation backstage with some WWE officials. You know he's on a revenge tour and he wants to get that briefcase back. Big test here is he would have to take on Bronson Reed, who's also looking for the opportunity to compete for that briefcase as well. But Big Bronson Reed would suffer an F5 and Brock would get the victory and join Braun Breaker in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Then in our main event of Nitro, it would be our WCW television champion Shinsuke Nakamura taking on the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion AJ Styles. AJ, who fell to Despicable Ray at Bash at the Beach, losing the WCW World Heavyweight title once again to Ray. Looking to try to figure out what's next for him. He has actually spent more time as WCW World Heavyweight Champion in our universe than not. And you got to think that while for the time being, the story and the battle between Ray might be on hold, I wouldn't bet that AJ Styles is going to be too far removed from that world title picture here in WCW. He would hit a Styles Clash and get the victory over Shinsuke Nakamura. Good bounce back win here on Nitro. And we'll see where AJ Styles goes next here in WCW. Then it was time for Thunder. We would kick it off with Baron Corbin taking on Omos. Omos with a huge choke slam on the outside. And there's no getting up from that. Omos would get the win via countout. And I'm still not sure if Baron Corbin has woken up yet, but Omos with the win here to kick off Thunder. Then it was another qualifying match, this time between Otis and Austin Theory. Otis, if you'll remember, defeated Theory in the gauntlet to determine who was going to be taking on Shinsuke Nakamura at Bash at the Beach. Ricochet, the eventual winner, but Otis was the one who eliminated Theory in that one. Here in this one, though, Austin Theory able to get Big Otis up, A-Town down, goes for the cover, and Austin Theory with the win as he earns his opportunity in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then it was a qualifying match for the ladies. Tiffany Stratton versus Tegan Knox. These two ladies, some history here as well. We saw Tegan make her debut at the Royal Rumble as a special mystery entrant. She eliminated Tiffany Stratton. Didn't sit too well with Tiffy. Fast forward to WrestleMania 2, the China Memorial Battle Royal. Tiffany eliminated in that one by none other than Tegan Knox again. But here in this qualifying match, Tegan would again get the better of Tiffany Stratton, and she moves on to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Then in our main event, it was Ilya Dragunov taking on Dirty Dom. Dom, though, not waiting for this one to get in the ring as he would attack Dragunov as he made his way to the ringside area. Dom, who we've seen a lot of success with the LWO. We saw at Bash at the Beach, not only did his despicable dad win the WCW World Heavyweight title. Raquel Rodriguez won the WCW Women's Championship. So a lot of gold in the LWO. And maybe that's giving Dom a little bit of cockiness, a little bit of overconfidence, maybe, as he would attack Dragunov before the match. But the Mad Dragon, going to take a little more to intimidate him or get the better of him. Does hit an H-bomb, hooks the leg, and would get the victory over Dirty Dom to close out Thunder. Then it was time for SmackDown. And we kicked it off with tag team action. DIY taking on the Creed brothers. It would end up being a bad night at the office for Ciampa and Gargano, as the Creeds would come away with the victory and a great establishing win as they look to establish themselves here in the WWE. Then we had our final qualifying match for the ladies this week. This one between Naomi and Chelsea Green. Two ladies that are looking to really get a boost in where their careers are. Naomi, fairly new to the universe. Chelsea has been in the universe for a while. And an opportunity to compete at Money in the Bank could be a great opportunity for either of them. On this night, though, it would be Naomi who punched her ticket and came away with the win. Then we would see Finn Balor attack Randy Orton as Orton was on his way to the ring for his one-on-one match against Bobby Lashley. We saw last month Orton had to deal with not only Balor but also Damian Priest. Priest would get a shot at Orton's Intercontinental title at Bash at the Beach. Came up on the short end as Orton would retain. And I guess now Balor looking to try to make an opportunity for himself here. Lashley almost was able to take advantage of the attack, but the Viper would strike with not only one RKO, but it would take two RKOs to put down the almighty WWE United States Champion. Big win for Randy Orton, especially in spite of the fact that he did suffer the sneak attack earlier in the night. At the end of the match, Balor would come back out onto the stage, and this time with the Viper having an opportunity to see Balor face to face, would take advantage of it. They would mix it up a little bit in the entranceway before security would come out and get in between them. I kind of get the feeling that this isn't it between these two, and we'll see how this plays out over the next couple weeks as we head towards Money in the Bank. Then in our main event of SmackDown and main event of the week, we would have our final men's qualifying match of the week. Sami Zayn taking on Chad Gable. Zayn, who still is looking to win his first championship in the universe. Gable, now that he's in the WWE with Team Angle, looking to really establish himself as a single star. Both guys with a lot on the line here. And you know both wanted to earn the opportunity to move on to that Money in the Bank ladder match. Unfortunately, though, for Gable, he wouldn't be able to get a 3 count here. And then he would end up on the wrong end of a haluva kick. And that would be all Sami would need to get the victory and punch his ticket for Money in the Bank. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And if you don't want to miss what happens next, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment down below. We'll see you guys next time.